I'm gonna turn all these lights off, set this up in front of me, and show you what it looks like to use this if you're in a darker situation. Hey, I'm Brian Miller, magician and motivational speaker. If you're a regular subscriber, thanks so much for sticking with me, and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm gonna cut right to the quick. Today's video is about a cheap piece of kit that has become indispensable in my vlogging bag. This is a tiny, portable, pocket-sized, micro USB rechargeable LED light. This is the Aputure Amaran AL-M9. So what is it about this light that I love? So what is it about this light that I love so much for vlogging? Why is it in my bag all the time? Well, first of all, for this tiny little size, you get a huge amount of light. All things considered, this is very, very simple. It's got a handful of LED lights right here, with a diffuser that magnetizes on it. It also comes with a piece of amber plastic you can put in between here and there, and that can make it tungsten instead of daylight. I always prefer it daylight, so I just leave it like this. It's got an on-off switch right here, and then a plus and a minus. What does that do? Well, control how much light is coming out of it. So not only is it portable, but it's adjustable as well. It is a micro USB port, and that charges it. On the top, we have a blue light indicating that it's on. It also comes with an adapter that you can use to mount it on top of a camera, or do what I do with it, which is mount it to a tabletop tripod. Now this is a good Manfrotto mini tripod, but if you don't feel like getting one of I highly, highly recommend this with the swivel ball head and how well made this is. This is a tripod that I use for my G9X, a small point and shoot camera for vlogging on the go. But if you don't want to spend that kind of money, you can get just a really, really cheap plastic piece of junk tabletop tripod like this. And then there you go. You can set this up and adjust it and whatever you need to do with it. So what do I use this for when I'm vlogging? If you're a vlogger, you know that you're not always in ideal lighting conditions. In fact, you are rarely in ideal lighting conditions. You're not usually sat where I am right now with a really nice key light about, I don't know, 2.5 feet from me, another light bouncing off of there, another light bouncing off of here, and an overlight head. In vlogging, you're going from inside to outside and changing conditions all the time, and what was happening to me is I was finding that for me on the road, I was constantly in hotel rooms or backstage at a show. There just wasn't enough light. I was cranking up the ISO on my cameras, which was giving me a noisy image, and I was getting real sick of it. My main vlogging lens is the Canon EF-M11-22, because my main vlogging camera is the EOS M3, which I'm filming on right now. The 11-22 starts at f4 and goes up from there, which means it's already a dark lens to begin with. Even the kit that I'm filming on right now, which is the 18-55, that starts at 3.5. A lot of people, if they're vlogging on a kit lens or a wide angle lens that is a darker lens in general. So I'm gonna turn all these lights off, set this up in front of me, and show you what it looks like to use this if you're in a darker situation. Okay, that is what it looks like in this room with only one light overhead. Now, in that situation, I could position myself directly below it, and this is the image that you'd be getting at my regular ISO of 320. So, okay, in this situation, what could you do? You could crank it up. We could go up to 640 like this. It's still pretty dark. To get a decent image here, my ISO probably needs to be somewhere like this, at like 3200. Now what's happening is you'll notice right now this is not a very clean image. It's blurry and it's noisy because the camera in this dark setting is cranking the digital brightness up, and it's having trouble figuring out where I am, and so it's probably going to go in and out of focus if I start moving around. This is not a nice image. I would bring this back down to say 640, which is a totally usable indoor ISO setting. And then I would set up this on a tabletop in front of me. What I could do is I could set up the light here, turn it on, and crank it up to its maximum brightness level. And look at that. With only 640 ISO and this little Aputure light that fits in my pocket, that recharges via USB, that's tiny, that weighs nothing, I can do a perfectly legitimate vlogging session directly to the camera with one overhead light that's hardly doing anything, and just this light alone. And every time I look in it, I get, like right now I can't see the camera or the screen at all. I keep looking at it and getting that like, That's what I would use this for. So I use this tiny, amazing, and cheap light to provide a complete fill for doing vlogging on the go when I'm in darker situations, when I'm in less than ideal conditions, so I don't have to crank up the ISO on my camera. I hope this was useful. I'm gonna provide a link to the light in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and always remember, friends, our world is a shared experience. Thanks very much. Have a great day. This is also a perfect light for filming ghost stories.